IVC, Dale Gatefold 33 here to do a slightly overdue response to a video that Shannon D put out a week or so ago on the subject of song titles. So not the musical content or the artists, but the actual names of albums, which I thought was interesting. Shannon had some really good examples, and she had some categories from memory around one-word titles and animals, and she also had some thoughts on whether to have amusing or not to have amusing titles. So all very interesting, and so I wanted to do a response, but I'm doing a nick in a nook in a niche, to avoid, because that niche is teetering on the edge of a rabbit hole that I don't want to fall down. So that's what this is going to be. And the inspiration for mine was a title that sprung to mind as an album title. So it's not necessarily a record that's in my top 100. It's a good record. In fact, all the records I'm going to show are pretty much good records, apart from the ones I don't know, which I'll explain. But yeah, it's a good record. But it's the title that is more evocative with me, and that is Kevin Ayers from Soft Machine and his debut album Joy of a Toy. I just like the sound of Joy of a Toy and what it evokes in the mind. So there's Kevin Ayers, as I say, X of what's on the inside, X of Soft Machine, and that's been the bit of the inspiration for this cul-de-sac that I've gone down. So I've got some records here, and what I've done is, I'm going to do this. I've got the old faithful rock family trees out, and there's a Soft Machine section, so you can look at the lineups and then the branches off of the lineups. And today I will be covering mostly how Soft Machine split, and I'm doing a little bit about album titles, covering Kevin Ayers, I've already mentioned, Robert Wyatt, Caravan, and Matching Mob. So I'm not going, there are other branches to this tree, but I'm not covering those. So yeah, Kevin Ayers, so this is the Canterbury, if you like, lazily I can say this is the Canterbury scene and its offshoot. So that kind of pastoral, progressive, folky, rock, jazz sound, and Soft Machine were kind of forefathers of that. And as I said, Kevin Ayers left, joined, did a solo music. This was his first, and his second or his next album, which I have had on vinyl, but I don't currently have on vinyl. I had it twice on vinyl. Both were kind of had some skips and ticks in it, so I've got rid of them both. But the next one that I think has got an interesting title is all one word. There, Whatever She Brings We Sing. That is another Kevin Ayers use of language. And so another key player that I've mentioned is Robert Wyatt. So in fact, no, I will hold back on the Robert Wyatt. I'll just do the Caravan connection next in terms of my titles. Caravan have got, I think, a mixed of sort of quality in their titles. Some are sort of supposed to be play on words and work or don't work. But the one I think is the strongest and most evocative for me is that in the land of grey and pink. And I think you need to have the album cover. What am I doing on my camera today? I don't know. You need to have the album cover as well, I think, for this to really, it evokes that fantasy world. But again, this is Canterbury prog, English prog at its finest. Fantastic album, fantastic artwork, and I think the title is probably not the key factor, but it's certainly an interesting title. So that's the Caravan angle. Um, I'm now gonna start in reverse order with the Robert Wyatt angle. So Robert Wyatt has done I think a number of interesting. So for those of you who know the Robert Wyatt story, so was in Soft Machine, kind of pushed out of Soft Machine, formed another band which I'll talk about in a minute, but then had a terrible accident where he fell out of a window, was paralysed, confined to a wheelchair. That stopped his drumming, and he went on to a solo career. And I think so. In 1974, after his accident, he brought out this album, Rock Bottom, which, if you imagine what he'd gone through, I think the title Rock Bottom can evoke different thoughts. This is it's got a very delicate cover art by his partner Alfie, who was in sort of been a support to him in terms of both supporting his songwriting and also illustrating. But he's done a number of one-word albums. I've only got one of them physically. I've got a couple digitally. So, but I think they're always quite evocative. So this, I should have got it out of the case. Not prepped very well for this. So this album is Sleep, spelt Shleep, Sleep. But he's also done two other albums that I've got digitally, Comic Opera, all one word, and Cuckoo Land, all one word, which again, I think the sound of the albums evokes a lot that is in the sound within the albums, if that makes sense. So what I wanted to talk about next, before I talk about my last bit about Robert Wyatt, is perhaps the juxtaposition of where this all originated in Soft Machine, and Soft Machine as a kind of musical inspiration for this, if you like. But what did they do with their album titles? So their album titles are The Soft Machine, Second, Third, Fourth, Fifth, and then by the next one they couldn't even be bothered with the six and seven. So zero creative thought into the titles. Perhaps they were putting all of their creative thought into the music, but a bit of a juxtaposition there, I think, between some of the evocative titles that were sprouting out of the Soft Machine genesis, but yet Soft Machine itself was pretty, well, not pretty, extremely basic in its use of language for its titles. So I just wanted to finish off sort of with the connection is when Robert Wyatt left Soft Machine, he formed a band called this brings in Animal and Amusing, and you can judge for yourself whether the amusing works or not. So he formed a band called Matching Mole. So there's obviously moles on the cover here. Matching Mole was the band, and the reason it's called Matching Mole is because he was, if you like, almost kicked out of Soft Machine due to artistic differences, and left, I guess, with a bit of a huff, and as a sort of a bit of an FU to the band members left in Soft Machine. The French for Soft Machine would be the Machine Molle, which he adapted to Matching Mole. So there's the sort of, if you like, the amusing take on words of trying to do a little bit of an FU back to his band that he's called his offshoot band Matching Mole. This is a fantastic, well, this album's got some fantastic songs on it, particularly Oh Caroline is absolutely beautiful, and Immediate Curtain as well, I think they are beautiful songs. So there is nearly 10 minutes. All my videos seem to be nearly 10 minutes, so I'll just have to live with it, of a little bit of a kind of, I don't know, roundabout sort of around the theme of Soft Machine, a few album titles that sprung to mind. So I'll be back with another video soon, but cheers Shannon, thanks, bye.